Guys, welcome back to my YouTube videos, and in this YouTube video, I'm going to be talking about me hitting 400 videos on this channel. Now, it is the first year on my YouTube channel, like a little over, almost 1 month since it's been 1 year of my YouTube channel. So yeah, but I still got 400 videos because I didn't upload in between May of 2024 and September of 2024. I started uploading in September, so yeah. But that's basically my only thing to talk about in this video. Now I might actually live stream that I hit 400 videos, and I'm going to live stream me hitting 400 videos in this, and also I am planning on just making videos, just trying to celebrate. So yeah. Then exclamation mark. I'm going to say yes because I am going to watch at least like 2 hours of content in the background, and it would probably make a real person appeal to say or do something they didn't say or do, and I might also show some stuff that is falling into that. So yeah, but let's go to the customization. Have on slow mode. I'm going to raise it to 10 seconds. So yeah, next, done. There we go. Now for load. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my live streams. And in this live stream, I'm talking about me hitting 400 videos, which I don't know if live streams count as videos, but if they do, this would be my 400 first. Then the 400 videos video. Dang. Then my 400 videos video would be the 402nd, but if it isn't like that, then my video would be 400. So yeah. I'm going to go get a drink, so yeah.
essence of a bridge is not just that it goes over something, but that there's clear space underneath for a river, railway, or road. Maybe this is already obvious to you, but bridges present a unique structural challenge. In a regular road, the forces are transferred directly into the ground. On a bridge, all those forces on the span get concentrated into the piers or abutments on either side. Because of that, bridge substructures are among the strongest engineered systems on the planet. And yet, bridge foundations are built in some of the least ideal places for heavy loading. Rivers and oceans have soft, mucky soils that can't hold much weight. Plus, obviously, a lot of them are underwater. What happens when you overload soil with a weight it can't handle? In engineering speak, it's called a bearing failure, but it's as simple as stepping in the mud. The foundation just sinks into the ground. But what if you just keep loading, causing it to sink deeper and deeper? Congratulations, you just invented one of the most widely used structural members on Earth, the humble foundation pile. How do they work, and how can you install them underwater? I'm Grady, and this is Practical Engineering. Today, we're having piles of fun talking about deep foundations. I did a video all about the different types of foundations used in engineering, but I didn't go too deep into piles. A pile is a fairly simple structural member, just a long pole driven or drilled into the ground. But behind that simplicity is a lot of terrifically complex engineering. Volume 1 of the Federal Highway Administration's Manual on the Design and Construction of Driven Pile Foundations is over 500 pages long. There are 11 pages of symbols, 2 pages of acronyms, and you don't even get to the introduction until page 46. And just a little further than that, you get some history of driven piles. Namely, that the history has been lost to time. Humans have been hammering sticks into the ground since way before we knew how to write about it. And that's pretty much all a driven pile is. The first piles were made from timber, and wood is still used all these years around the world. Timber piles are cheap, resilient to driving forces, and easy to install. But wood rots. It has an upper limit on length from the size of the tree, and it's not that strong compared to the alternatives. Concrete piles solve a lot of those problems. They come in a variety of sizes, shapes, and again are widely used for deep foundations. One disadvantage of concrete piles is that they have to be pretty big to withstand the force required to drive them into the ground. Some concrete piles can be upwards of 30 inches or 75 centimeters wide. It's hard to hit something that big hard enough to drive it downward into the soil, and a lot of ground has to either get out of the way or compress in place to make room. Steel piles solve that problem, since they can be a lot more slender. Pipe piles are just what they sound like, and another major alternative is an H-pile. Your guess is as good as mine why the same steel shape is an I-beam, but an H-pile. But no matter the material, all driven piles are installed in basically the same way. Newton's third law applies to piles like everything else. To push one deep into the ground creates an equal and opposite reaction. You would need either an enormous weight to take advantage of gravity, or some other strong structure attached to the ground to react against and develop the pushing force required to drive it downward. Instead of those two options, we usually just use a hammer. By dropping a comparatively small weight from a height, we convert the potential energy of the weight at that height into kinetic energy.
The worst assassination attempts.
Welcome back to the Power Channel. How you doing? How you doing? Come on, sit down because today we're talking about failed assassination attempts.
What's the only failed assassination attempt I know of is the one on Donald Trump. What's like another prominent failed assassination attempt? Oh, I know, Teddy Roosevelt. When they shot Teddy Roosevelt in the chest, but he had a really thick speech he wanted to give, and it was in his pocket, and it shot, and the thick speech stopped the bullet from killing him.
For most people, they're deep patriotism.
That wasn't a bad assassination attempt, though. It was an honest try.
Lee, the recesses of their mind. Others, however, are driven to do some pretty wild stuff in the pursuit of revenge. Take the CEO killer, Luigi Mangione. Yes, he's hot. He's super sexy. He's got thick eyebrows. Luigi had so much animosity for the healthcare system that he traveled to Midtown Manhattan in New York City and shot a man to death. Regardless of you think it's justifiable or not, them's the facts. They're saying he's innocent. There are some people saying he's innocent. I'll be completely honest, I have no idea.
Oh no, now it's definitely him. But in the moment, I remember they were showing the pictures of Luigi to the camera footage of that guy, and they didn't look similar at all.
All I know is this: man losing sleep. Get a shot. You just say that, alright?
Sorry, I'm crazy. I'm an anarchist guy.
The bullet on the gun read, delay, deny, depose. A play on the phrase delay, deny, defend. A strategy used by private insurance companies to reject insurance claims to people in need in order to save money, which is totally poetic. It's good. Honestly, you know what? If you should be a part of insurance CEO guy's job, you might be killed. You're getting paid big bucks. You may be killed, dude. Is that not fair? Is that not fair? Slightly. A little fair. Just a little bit.
Worth it.
I don't think that murder is okay. But the point that Luigi was making is what most people are standing on, that why is the CEO of a company that has the highest denial rate out of any insurance company making like genuinely hundreds of millions of dollars? Like he is turbo rich when people are actually dying because they can't get life-needed surgeries funded.
And I'm not saying death to every rich person. I'm just saying your healthcare guy who rejected people who are like, I'm dying. That doesn't really quite fit into our economic strategy.
I also just don't like insurance companies. Political Joe. Gotta get fucking political warning here. Hold up. I also just don't really like insurance companies. I think that you should just have it like other countries where we are not going through a middleman for things that are required for us to live. Like, I pay taxes for the purpose of the government providing me things. I feel like one of those things they should provide me is, healthcare.
For every successful assassination attempt, there are a ton of failed ones. Way more failed ones than successful ones, okay? Take the recent assassination attempt of Donald Trump. Donald Trump in a video. It's played out. I get it. But
you know what's wild is if that was actually 3 inches over, like, history would be different. Our life would be different. And that applies to any butterfly effect thing in general. But if that bullet was like 2 inches to the right, we would be here right now, but I would be doing something else. This would not be the video we are watching.
20-year-old Matthew Crooks was somehow able to sneak his way onto a building with a rifle and shoot at the president, nicked his ear, despite 2 snipers surveying the entire event. Now, does that read like we're a little speculative of this? Of course! How are you going to miss a giant man like that? Talking about football field at the half, that'd be one hell of a shot. There's no reporting kid that would be a good shooter either.
What does a kid look like that would be a good shooter?
Here's when I think of like assassination attempt stuff. I always think like a grizzly man, but it's never a grizzly man. It's always like something like snarly. Even Oswald, which we all know he didn't really shoot either. Crook failed his attempt after shooting 8 times. Although he wounded,
He shot 8 times. I thought he shot once. He missed 8 times.
to kill members of the audience. Thank God, not the president. He was ultimately taken out by Secret Service. Some of these botched attempts can range from sinister to straight up cartoonish. So today, let's take a look at some of the craziest and weirdest failed assassination attempts of all time. Roll the clip. We can start with the recent story that blew up on social media, where a ramen shop owner placed a bounty on a negative reviewer, which is awesome. Get the political shit out of my face, conspiracy theory stuff. Give me the ramen shop owner. It's just like he said. What did he say about our noodles? He didn't like us. What did he say? Don't get Tony. We're killing this. A ramen shop in Kyoto, Japan called Onijuro is a top-rated restaurant in the area. And unfortunately, that didn't stop 2 disgruntled customers from giving them a negative review after having a subpar experience. For this highly rated restaurant, this hit to their reputation resulted in, some would say, not me personally, some would say,
Hit to the reputation. How many reviews do you have to get a reputation like that.
The owner of the restaurant went on Instagram, showed images of their faces, and called out the people responsible for threatening them. In the post, the owner states,
How did he know it was them that gave a bad review? Aren't reviews anonymous? Unless they were very descriptive of their experience. We went to this noodle place on September 21st, 2022, and we were sitting in the back left corner, and they gave us a subpar meal.
and I quote,
I saw your post, and you seem a bit weird.
"We try not to treat people like you as customers, so it's fine. We should probably avoid eating out someday. Someone like you will get screwed. I don't care. Just come directly, and I'll deal with you. We run a planned business, so if you get in our way, we will get in the way of yours too."
How do they know it's them?
Well, what I'm wondering is, if it's like a Google account, it's also just like a threat. You can't, as a business owner, return to your customers that gave you a shitty review and go, "We'll kill you if I see you again, I'll murder you."
On their Instagram story, the owner announces that $100,000 gift reward for anyone that can provide personal intel about both reviewers or track them down and take action. Still, this proposed manhunt is
Wait, they were gonna pay people to track these two random guys down for getting a bad review? That is so extra. Oh my god. I always fear that though when I have a bad Uber ride. I told y'all about the Uber driver that I had that was falling asleep at the wheel, and I gave him a 3-star. He was falling asleep. He was biting his thumb to stay awake. And I gave him a 3-star for sleepy driving. I wanted to give him a 1, but I was like, dude, if I give him a 1 and don't tip, I feel like he's just gonna come and try and kill me. That just scares me with that shit. I don't know. Like, that's the one. And there's always videos like I'm always an avid like person to say, hey, if you give me an even neutral service, I'm gonna give you a good tip, because I understand people in the service industry, are kind of at ends of making money. But in the same sense, if you're driving me home and you're driving over the line and falling asleep and biting yourself to stay awake, I don't think you should be an Uber driver. I don't think you should be driving a car right now. You haven't slept in 2 days. You should go to bed.
It escalates to further threats, and I quote, "The thing you can do is come back yet again and write a good review with the photo." I told him I won't forgive him otherwise, not even for the safety of his family.
Okay.
Cause! Come on, man, drop it! If he does that, he'll be killed right away. Jesus.
What?
Jesus, this kid is so scared. He'll really do it, so he better just come back and eat. I'm really happy to pop back in there.
I wouldn't want to go back to that restaurant. I would be scared they would be poisoned. If you left a bad review at a food restaurant, and then they were threatening to murder you unless you came back and ate their food again, I would go, dude, you're just going to kill me when I show up. Why would I ever come within a 10-mile radius of your fucking ramen place?
I like to think when he comes back to, they're going to do this to him. We really just on that one, didn't you, buddy?
You ruined our Yelp review. We had a 4-star, now we have a 3.8.
There's no more information released about this story, but the customer likely did not return after being threatened.
You know what would have been crazy is if they ended up review bombing this ramen place into the ground even worse.
The tweet detailing the story received over 36 million views, which did more damage to their reputation than the owner probably expected. That is so great. I love that in the end, him putting out his head, it was worse than that one single Yelp review. Many assassinations end in failure simply due to minor technical difficulties. A common thing to expect in the heat of the moment. For example, we have the fake construction worker assassination. Recently, a video made the rounds showcasing an encounter in Toronto that involved a man disguised as a construction worker. The assassin identifies a slim-built Asian male attempted to ambush a 41-year-old woman outside of her home. He acts friendly, but as the woman had her back turned, he pulled out a gun and tried to shoot her. The gun seemed to malfunction. In the confusion, the woman notices what is happening and sprints away from him. In the security footage that was released, we can see the man successfully shoot the woman once in the back. He's no, that's unfortunate. He gives up on going for the kill and sprints away in his car. The woman's injuries were non-life.
In his car, which is on camera, and there's license plates just attached to it. I never understand that mentality. That's why I'm so happy I don't live in the fucking Western times, where you literally, like, there was just no way of finding anybody. If you were alive in like 1820, you could just go into a business, kill everyone, and walk out. A day later, somebody would stroll in and go, oh my god, everybody's dead. and then contact the local sheriff. And then they'd be like, huh, well, we've got a bit of a debacle in our hands.
And she has since been released from the hospital. It's sort of that always creeped me out because it's always just like, what's the name? Why? I heard it. We don't know. We don't know. You know, it's fucked up too, but I didn't recall. To be fair, it was recent, so maybe
Because why do, as it, obviously, I won't say obviously, I actually don't know this, just don't know this. Are there less serial killers now than there were 40 years ago? I don't know. I wanted to say though, serial killers now would be nightmares in the 1800s. Holy fuck. Serial killers that are killing tens of people, like 10, 20, 30 people now, could have killed 500 people 100 years ago. Because the steps they take now to not be found, amplified on a scale where there's no tech, no forensics, and there's like, hey, if they didn't see you do the crime, they just have no idea who did it. Those guys would never get caught.
he's probably gonna go for it again, right? He shoots only once in the back and then not want to kill him. That piss you off, probably.
Who's killing serial? Who's killing 20 people? Serial killers. How many people did John Wayne Gacy kill? He had like 40 people shoved under his floorboards. 33 young men.
Assassin lifestyle isn't just a young man's game. Even senior citizens have tried to suck out of life to no avail. Like a 93-year-old man who tried to kill his wife to make her die.
Wait, what's that say? Dying man tries to fatally suffocate and strangle his wife for 60 years. That would be like getting hugged by a teddy bear. A 93-year-old man. There's no way a guy that old has grip strength. Why? I truly don't. Why athletes get... I don't think that's what we do.
This is Liz Cambage, full-time WNBA All-Star, one of the greatest players of her generation. Career earnings, $900,000. Earnings on bets, $1.5 million in her first week. That's right. She made
First week?
more events in 7 days than in her entire basketball career. She's not the only one. From track and field to bobsled, more and more pro athletes are joining hands to make a living. Even Douglas Costa and Nick Kyrgios. Now you might think the obvious.
I'm surprised that male athletes are switching over. I think there's more of a motivation for women as well because they can get paid more, but also because they don't really get paid very much in their pro spaces. Like, female athletes in the NBA, you can make more than them at like a high-paying 9 to 5. Like, you might make more than like one of the best female athletes in the NBA. If you're like a hedge fund manager, or you're making, I mean, like that's still a crazy job, but like you're not making more than male NBA players. Like the worst NBA player in the league is still probably towering over your salary, and he sits bench every game.
These athletes are selling their bodies for money, and the guys in Athletic Interest made a video about it to have fun with the research. But it's more complicated than that. We're not just talking about lower-ranked athletes, but Olympic champions, Wimbledon finalists, and Champions League footballers.
Well, the problem for Olympians too is if your sport's real niche, you probably make nothing in general outside of the Olympic years and big competitions. And even then, like I usually use track as an example because that's what I know a lot about because I used to love track. If you're a pro track athlete, male or female, and you're not winning your events, you're making jack. You have a 9 to 5. If you're like a 5,000 meter female runner and you place like 4th place in the meets that you go to, you
by the best maps in 2025. You're doing it wrong. You're still using this to navigate light and embarrassing.
I'm so bored right now, and I truly hate the way it feels. You're probably bored too. You clicked on this video trying to feel less bored, and all you've got is a guy scrolling on his phone alone in the room. Here, let me see if I can help with that. Is this better? Good. It's not just you and me. It's everyone. Boredom is on the rise. Even at a time when we're in the golden age of content, boredom isn't simple. It's not trivial. It's not benign. It's actually a painful emotion that quietly haunts our sense of meaning and purpose. It's more like pain or disgust. We've been going deep on this. There's a lot of great new science. My producer Alex read like 5 books on the topic. In all of this literature, I am starting to see a clear story that explains why all of us are more bored than ever. But I'm also seeing something that I didn't expect, something that's quietly hidden within the feeling of boredom. How this really unpleasant feeling, boredom, might actually be key to living a more purposeful, creative life. Through life is like a road trip. Stick with me while I build this analogy because it's actually useful for understanding the real meaning of boredom. It's a road trip in the dark. In this analogy, the most important parts are, first off, your headlights. This is your attention, your ability to pay attention and what you pay attention to. And the second most important part is this fuel tank. We're going to look at this a lot. This represents your sense of meaning and purpose. It helps motivate you, pushes you along the journey of your life. Attention and meaning are vital for how humans navigate their lives, how they make decisions on where to go with the constraints of their everyday experience. These determine the route that you take on this road.
Welcome back. Today we're looking at you. That's right, we're looking at you, Alex. You didn't think that I could read your thoughts, did you? But I can, and I've been watching you, and I want to know what you got going on. So that'll be like scary for anyone named Alex. The rest of you guys watching this that aren't named Alex, just like understand that like that wasn't for you, but like it was good, you know? Today we're looking at creepy stuff on the creepy subreddit. It's gonna just be images that make us go, ooh, and sometimes we might go, ooh. As usual, nothing's going to actually be disturbing. I try to, like, filter for the most part. So, like, we'll get creepy, but we're not going to get, like, morbid. You know, that's kind of just a guarantee for this channel. And also, never any spiders. That's another guarantee I have here as well. Never spiders, never morbid, and never not a good time, baby. Let's go. Okay, first image. Something that's not a good time. I lied already. A doll made of buttons. Ooh, I don't like that. I've talked about it before, but anything that's like even remotely related to body horror, like this isn't even a person, this is just like made to look like a person, but I just don't like when it's like human-like, but like morphed. You know, it just makes my skin crawl. You know what? Skin crawling, it creeps me out as well. So that's kind of a problem for me. But yeah, it's a creepy-looking doll made of buttons, and the buttons range from like big, which doesn't really bother me very much, to like these tiny little ones that you can't even tell are buttons. It just kind of looks like bumps. That's gross. Gives me the willies. Gives me a single willy. Wait, that doesn't sound good. But yeah, it being a doll is strike one. It's kind of creepy, unkempt hair. Strike two, no offense, this is what your hair looks like. Maybe you just got out of bed. Maybe you're just low key. And the rest of it being made of skin-colored buttons. That's strike three. You're out. Mr. Potato Head IRL. Yeah, I don't like this. I say that like I'm surprised. I thought we were going to find a bunch of stuff I liked today. This feels like body horror again. What's going on here? It's a bunch of pieces of faces just in a drawer. It's kind of funny, I guess. A little bit funny, but not that funny. This could be a cool premise for a horror movie, though. I know I always say that about like everything that's like remotely unique. You know how they made like the Winnie the Pooh scary, and they made like the Mickey Mouse game, but it's scary, like when things enter the public domain. So when Mr. Potato Head opens public domain, use his likeness to make like a Mr. Potato Head slasher movie. I could see that, you know. He steals people's faces, but not their whole face, just the pieces, and then he gets to kind of like, he just likes to customize, you know. Speaking of Winnie the Pooh, it's no use. He bit me.
pull the trigger, piglet.
I can't do the voice, but this is more funny than anything. Like, what, zombie Tigger bit him, and now he's infected, and Piglet's gotta put him down, like the Pooh Bear that he is. I mean, I think I just said this about the last one, but like, public domain, make a horror movie about the, like, perch.
So a while back, I started noticing some ads for a company called Grace Bags. The story goes that Grace, a kind-hearted elderly woman, has been handcrafting beautiful leather bags for years. But it's the end of an era for Grace, so she's holding her farewell sale.
Grace is offering up to 80% off of her farewell sale. Once they're gone for good, don't miss out.
I thought, oh, how nice. And then I kept scrolling. But the sponsored ads kept popping up, trying to reel me back in. And I thought, maybe I ought to check these out. But then I started to get a little suspicious about this Grace woman. Wait a minute, is she even real? I take her photo over to SiteEngine.com, which is able to detect whether or not an image is made from AI. And it turns out this picture is. Wait, what? There's no Grace? Who then is making these high-quality handcrafted leather bags? Who are all these people raving about them?
These aren't just bags. They're pieces you keep forever.
Grace and her husband have spent over 34 years perfecting their leather bags.
Imagine carrying a bag that holds 30 years of love, dedication, and craftsmanship.
Okay, something's definitely up with this guy. Nobody gets this emotionally invested in a leather bag. So I'm going to try and find out who he is. I use a tool called Pimites. It's pretty good at scanning faces and uncovering where else they've popped up online. And what do you know? I think I found it.
Are you wondering how hair loss can be reversed naturally?
That's our guy. Here he is again.
Save thousands of dollars with Electro LED UFO high bay light.
Oh, he's an actor on Fiverr. You can pay this guy to say whatever you want.
I'm a professional spokesperson and actor with decades of experience.
Well, maybe it's just a coincidence that he also happened to buy a bag for his wife and make a testimonial about it. Let's look at another guy who's also in love with these bags.
It reminded me of my grandma. How she put so much love into everything she made.
Oh, how funny. He's also got a Fiverr account.
I have been an actor for 20 years, and I have appeared in many movies, TV shows, and hundreds of TV commercials.
And it turns out that Grace Bags has a YouTube channel where they've uploaded all their testimonials.
This is unlike anything I've ever seen. A bag from Grace's collection is one to cherish for a lifetime.
These are all actors with Fiverr accounts. And the best part, the mastermind behind this channel didn't even bother editing the clips before uploading them.
I stumbled upon the story. I was scrolling through.
Turns out Grace Bags isn't some heartwarming handcrafted leather bag business. It's just someone using AI and hiring actors to produce fake glowing reviews. But what do the real customers get when they order from Grace Bags? Well, the only thing authentic here is their disappointment. These luxury leather bags are actually just cheap vinyl knockoffs made in China. Now this is where things get wild. Suddenly I learned that Susan's Bags is also shutting down. Then Victoria's Bags, Paul Richards, Kenner Shoes, so many beloved elderly artisans all conveniently having their final sales at the exact same time.
Once they're gone for good.
Once they're gone forever.
Kenner Shoes is gone forever. Once they're gone.
And when I go to their page and select About, then Page Transparency, I can see that these pages are being managed from the Netherlands, Vietnam, and Indonesia. This is so weird. But then I get an ad from Henry's.
Hello there, I'm Henry, and I want to share a bit of my story with you. For over 33 years, I've been crafting watches by hand. And
Yeah, of course you have, Henry.
But there's something special about creating a watch that stands the test of time. Something classic and meaningful. Every detail, every movement. I put my heart into each watch.
I just wanted to know.
The moments it would witness, and the legacy it would keep.
Can you tell me about a lawyer who around and found out?
I'm sorry, I can't find the information. I'm only up to date through 2021.
I have the information right here. Oh, so AI is going to replace lawyers. Well, not anytime soon, because it finally happened. We've had our first sighting of AI lawyering in the wild, and it was bad. It was
very, very bad. Two lawyers in New York deputized ChatGPT to do their legal research in an airline tort case and found themselves in a direct flight to sanctions land courtesy of one very pissed off federal judge. These guys may have ended their legal careers for a case which was always dead on arrival. And along the way, they became internet famous, bringing the entire legal community together to point and laugh as one. So, thanks guys. So our story begins back in August of 2019 on Flight 670 from San Salvador to New York's JFK Airport. Passenger Roberto Mata claims that an employee of Aviator Airlines, quote, struck him in his left knee with a metal serving cart, causing him to suffer severe personal injuries. In February of 2022, Mata sued in New York State Court, alleging that he suffered, quote, grievous and painful injuries to his body and limbs, and damage and injury to his nervous system. He became sick, sore, lame, and disabled, causing him to be incapacitated. Which is a lot of hassle for a bag of pretzels and a Sprite. Now, Avianca removed the case to federal court immediately, which means that the New York County Clerk took no action and simply transferred it to the Southern District of New York, which is a federal court, where the suit was assigned to U.S. District Judge Kevin Castell. Not every case qualifies for what's called federal removal, but here Avianca cited multiple separate grounds for Article 3 jurisdiction to get it into the federal courts. Now, first, international flights are governed by something called the Montreal Convention, an international treaty signed by the U.S. government, and second, the parties are what's called diverse, because Mr. Mata is a citizen of New York and Avianca is headquartered in Bogota, Colombia. Federal courts have original jurisdiction over cases which implicate international treaties, and they have diversity jurisdiction when the plaintiff and defendant are not from within the same state. So this suit was clearly one which could be heard in federal court in New York. Now, the Montreal Convention is an international treaty signed in 1999 to standardize legal protections for air travelers, mainly by regularizing compensation for lost luggage. But it also contains a 2-year statute of limitations reckoned from the day of arrival at the destination. And you'll note that February of 2022 is more than 2 years after August of 2019, which meant that Mr. Mata was probably out of time and out of luck. But immediately upon removal, Avianca filed an answer denying all the allegations of Mata's admittedly bare bones complaint, although the airlines conceded that, quote, a Roberto Mata was listed as a passenger on Avianca Flight 670 on August 27, 2019. And Avianca asserted several affirmative defenses, which is something that negates criminal or civil liability.
The Grimace freaking challenge is the funniest internet challenge I have seen in years. As soon as I see somebody standing there with that Grimace shake, bro, I start shaking. I'm like, yeah, give it to me, Grimace! I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. Today, if I laugh, I'm doing the Grimace challenge. Trying out the Grimace milkshake. I heard a lot of good things online about it, so we're going to give it a little sippy doo-dah if I end up laughing today. I want to say really quick that if you guys were here in December, you know that we did Memathon 2.0. Basically, I lost that challenge. I had to buy a giant Blue Lobster billboard in Ohio. It is officially up right now in Cincinnati, Ohio. I'll put the address on the screen here somewhere. But I'm going to fly to Ohio on July 7th, 2023 at 6 p.m. local time. I'm going to go and hang out at the billboard and say hi to anybody if you want to come by and say hi. And then in the meantime, until July 1st, everything lobster related in the merch store is 10% off. Use code LOBSTER10. So go to Jiggerton.com to grab that right now, and let's get into the memes, baby. Here we go. Every pilot. Oh! Dude, is everything gonna be that loud? What just happened, bro? My ears are gone! I think it's funny that you guys are asking me to eat my mic when these guys do it professionally, right? Like, why not? We should just start DMing, pilots and saying, hey, great job. Keep eating the mic. I'm sick of seeing eat your mic comments is what I'm trying to get at. But okay. We got this USA. Oh my gosh! Dude. It hurts, bro. It feels like my ear canals and my brain are having a civil war right now. The timing of that joke might not be super awesome. Okay, let's keep going. Here we go. We gotta don't turn off the lights with this filter. What? Dude, my ears are That's what's happening inside my head right now. Poor Beans over here, dude. And he's chilling, honestly. They believe in us. God did. God did. God did. Was he panning to? What was he panning to, bro? DJ Khaled is the weirdest. He's the. I don't know if he's self-aware, then he's hilarious. I'm just so, dude. I don't know, bro. DJ Khaled is on another level of weird. Okay, let's keep on going, I guess, huh? XQC finds out coffee works.
So good. I got coffee because I was tired. Wait, I was tired. Now I'm awake.
Wow.
What? I didn't know coffee could do that. What?
Dang, bro, that was spot on. Bro, this guy needs to make a video where he goes to a zoo and he just like points out every animal. Bro, for the longest time, I didn't realize XQC was Canadian. I thought he was like Russian or something, dude. I don't know what I thought. I bet XQC likes when that coffee kicks in. Because it used to make him twitch. I can head out, actually. I'm sorry. Please don't. Okay, we got the way he floated.
What is that? Oh, hit the wall. See it? You need to have the full hitting this wall.
Part of me wanted to go try this right here, full front flip on beans right now. Not gonna do it, because that's just a terrible idea. If you're a flipper, or a gymnast, or whatever is going on here, like, this is a perfect example of the kind of content we need from you. Like, dude, he was airborne right here. He leaves the ground. Oh. I love everything about this. It doesn't cure depression, because that's impossible, but it cures our boredom, that's for sure. Okay, look what he means of June part 2.
Oh, look at that.
That's but this is why you stay humble. You know, when you get something cool, just keep it to yourself, dude. Because it's gonna smell like soup in your car for a solid month. You killed a Darman. There's no audio? There's just no audio. Dude, the reality is like, this is a lot of the TikTok videos, people are just like, you know, it's fun to watch, the music's great and everything, but the reality is like, is he brushing his teeth? Okay, he's brushing his teeth. Is that even Darman? We should just add the sound effects into this. Okay, sorry, Darman. He's gonna make a video about me bullying him now. Okay, we've got, lettuce. You know, I expect nothing less. That's from Super Salad 575. How would you like your salad tossed? With bait. Sorry, that's really cringe. Have I gotten progressively more cringe, guys? I need you to be honest with me. Chad, is this real? Okay, we got a here. Which yell is real? Bro, I think it's 6. It's either 6 or 2. Yeah, 6 or 2. 3 is obviously dumb. That's your neighbor? What you doing? Let me see. Oh! I like that. Let's go. I'm gassed. If I'm sitting here working at this 7-Eleven and some chick comes up speaking nonsense at first and then just absolutely whacks in the bucket, turns around and goes, I quit, dude. I quit on the spot. I will never be the alpha in this building. There's no way. Because then every day I'm just living in fear. When is she going to walk in next? When am I going to be the lowest on the totem pole next?
You're kidding, bro. You can't let him sitting with an iron pickaxe, bro.
Bro, Steve needs some help. And so do I. So do most of us. Which is why I need to tell you about a little friend of ours called BetterHelp.
The insane world
Back to the Papa Big channel. How you doing? How you doing? Come on in and sit on down because today we're talking about alternative medicine.
Now, see, here's the thing, guys. I have a lot of Jack Daniels in alternative medicine.
We're talking about alternative medicine.
Those like the health rock mass gainer. I think that's crack. Now, see, here's the thing, guys. I have a lot of friends who refuse to go to the doctor, and I don't blame them.
Going to the doctor's office is weird, it's sterile, and there's definitely at least 3 people there that
Don't love going to the doctor. I love going to the doctor. If I don't go to the doctor, like, speak out. Like, I had to postpone one of my doctor's appointments, and I was like, I need to go. Why? I don't know. I need to go. If I don't go, oh my God. Like, especially with my dermatologist appointment. My dermatologist appointment, you're a sociopath. That's not a sociopath. I want to know something's wrong with me. Because I want to go to the doctors. Because I want to go to the doctors and have them look at my skin and make sure I don't have skin cancer. They've already touched off of me multiple times. I had to get multiple moles checked for skin cancer. Little fun fact here, I've said this before too. If you're blonde or have green or blue eyes, your odds of having skin cancer are way higher than anybody else.
want to be in that profession at all, and you're like, you're supposed to be my guardian angel here, and I don't want to feel weird about it.
Yeah, what? Yeah, no, so if you're blonde, I'm blonde and I have green eyes, so I go to the skin doctor all the time. I have a lot of people in my family that have skin cancer. Just go, dude. Go. You know, when I pull up, they go, all right, and then they basically just scan the whole body, and then they might put one of these, look down there, they look at all my moles on my body.
But it's opened up my mind to the idea of maybe diving into some alternative medicine. Alternative medicine, not necessarily scientifically proven to do anything, but holistic, spiritual. It might do wonders for me as well. And today, I wanted to dive deep down the online rabbit hole of alternative medicines. Ooh. Is that okay?
Breaking Bad. I was going to freak out if I didn't know where that was from.
You're probably wondering, Hunter, what exactly is alternative health? Let me tell you. Alternative medicine is a term used to describe treatments or cures that have no scientific backing, but tradition.
Hate that shit because alternative medicine motherfuckers convince people that they don't need to seek medical help, actual medical help, when something goes wrong, and then they die because they didn't get help.
Traditional medicine, or fucking it.
Getting to that one, so yeah. Up there.
Testimonials, anecdotes, spirituality, religion, superstition, or supernatural energies to promote their effectiveness for their healing powers, which is also known as like pseudoscience or new age medicine. You probably have seen it thrown around, or maybe you have hippie mom or crazy mom, I don't know, however you want to describe her, who maybe throws these terms around. I don't know. Go through the medicine. A lot of alternative medicines are traditional or cultural, but there are new alternative health products and tips popping up every day, most of which have no proof they work and are just plain dangerous.
What the fuck was that? That was the cold one. That was the cold one part.
advice that is thrown around online, which makes it kind of funny, and also makes a lot of components of these people just kind of little goobers. Little silly goobers out there, right? And let me tell you, I am not the pinnacle of health. Not really. Look at me. That's it. I wish I got cracked. It's so bad. I really wish I could. You know, people say yawning, or what's the thing, the tongue thing, that your tongue moves in your mouth is not Natalie Portman does or whatever. How can you make yourself? I don't know how actors do that. Are they like thinking about sad shit, or are they just doing something that makes them sad? I thought I was gonna just say, wait, we want to thank today's sponsor, which is Game. I'm sorry, I'm skipping again. In hospitals, people spend a lot of money, like the biggest scam of patient. Alternative medicine is a new way of thinking. People are also very susceptible to getting in information because they don't trust big government hospitals. People spend a lot of money, like the biggest scam on earth, which is health insurance. The deductible. Oh my god, I fucking hate that. Health insurance, but also the bill. You get an MRI. Well, that costs $10,000. We got a nuclear power plant running this thing. Health insurance makes me jump off a whole bridge, and that would be more trouble for the damage I did from jumping off the bridge. I'd be paying even more out of pocket debt. So now you have people like alternative medicine gurus that are selling kinds of products and practices, online courses or weird medicines. Oh, why would you put that's when you didn't have insurance still? Yeah, I remember some PhD said you don't have insurance and you had to get a fucking, like an appendectomy or something, and it was like $500,000. If you don't have insurance and you go to the hospital, oh, what? Working a bit in alternative health? Oh, he's on the list. Yeah, a little spoiler. But it just leads people, you get like, yeah, getting coal nuts and fucking cow semen. The Andy Elliots, you know. Is she really back on this list? Damn right she does. She'll have to pop back up on this sometime. Alternative.
Welcome back, fellas. Can you survive these memes? Me? You? Let's begin. Multiple lollies. Lollies, no! No, don't tell me. Attacking boulders, bro. I got some frying. Where's he frying? What is going on, bro? This looks hazardous. How is it black already, bro? What?
Elgato?
Not a damn thought in that cat's noggin.
It's disturbing to watch a young Hasidic.
This is the funniest shit, bro. It's so fucking funny. He got in trouble, and like, I had to apologize for this kid.
Jewish boy is marked and berated. The child targeted because of his traditional Hasidic sidewalks.
I'll be crying if I look like that too, bro. That's what they be doing to y'all. So, bro, it's your life.
The aspiring comedian spoke to Pix 11, telling us he was
fucking, bro, it's your life. Oh my god, bro. Like, no matter what religion, the kid did not choose to get them. He didn't know, bro. I didn't gain consciousness until I was like that kid's age. I doubt that's the first thing on his mind. Them Perkins beating his ass. Blood shit. Oh no, not the default. This is some electric gameplay. Wait, what was that? Whose song was that? That shit looked crazy, bro. What is that? What is that? Like, I've seen it before with someone, bro. This is liminal, dude. I don't even. Holy, the money spread. That's the mortgage spread. You thought that mustache was a damn caterpillar, I swear, bro, I swear. Please forgive me, Lord. Capture time, bro. Oh, it's capture time, let's go! We find out who put letters in math, and when you realize that you aren't subscribed to Rifty, yeah, you better roll the ad, bro, roll the ad! What the hell you doing? You better fucking subscribe today! When you realize the reality of what you did to get a Klondike bar, shit, bro, more like Klondike. Alright. And if you would like to be in a future video, caption this down below. Thank you, brother. Playing some pool. Unless they got a gyroscopic table, that's not gonna work. If anybody knows physics, you would know this isn't gonna work. This is preposterous, man. Banana-heiser. That's what this brand of mic is. Banana-heiser. God. Bro, I jaywalk ironically. When I got caught for jaywalking, bro, I told the judge I was ironically jaywalking and he let me off scot-free. Shout out Judge Got Gilbo. Shout out Got Gilbo. Judge, you the best. We've seen this before, but I love it so much. We're watching it again. I love seeing dudes homo kiss. It's the best. Those are the biggest damn Newports I've ever seen. Holy shit. One way in Raccoon City. When yo's man find your weed. Is that Patrick? Well, what the hell is going on here? Some fellas being slapped? Okay, bro, he's going crazy. He just reverse suction cup that. I'm talking too much. I'm gonna shut up.
Why don't you go someplace where no one has ever been before? All you need is the Jeep. It's got guts.
Bro, I still don't believe that's a real Jeep. There's no... Bro, I saw a person flinging out of it, though. That was real. We're going to need to watch this in a future video as well for me to actually get enough time to analyze it, because collectively I've had about 10 seconds of analyzation. Is that a word? God damn it, I don't care.
Survival of the fittest. Species better adapted to their environment live on, while others perish. Plants versus zombies guarding the world.
Okay. Double crocked up. Got the Topo Chicos and the Bud Lights. That's pretty cool. What? Look, they moved the whole house. How is she not? What? El Watermelon, left her that be like? Is that a shower head? Best Netflix series ever! Who's watching? Parasite 2? Netflix series, Blood Story. Just eating some mango. He caught the mango! Bro, I don't know where the footage is. I remember going on one of those and trying to stand up and then hyperextending my knee and almost hitting shit, bro. I didn't realize that the one I was on, the things where you lay it on, they like slide up and I get slipped standing horizontal, bro. Never again, dude. Almost killed myself. Almost flung out of that thing. Got a mask. Yo, I was thinking this. Yo, that's so fucking hard, bro. I'm so hard, bro. Bro, I swear, like, they always got these fucking dudes out in, like, the John Wick nightclubs while he's going around sweeping and killing 30 dudes, and they just keep doing it. Turns to a clicker at the end, bro. Don't knock it until you've tried it. If you've tried it, let me down below know in the comment section. Thank you. Bro, he's gonna break his neck! That might be a health issue, and they might need to deflate the dog. that dude was straight out of Resident Evil. How do I know? I've been playing the most recent Resident Evil with Becca. That's why her chair's right there. It's mainly me playing the game and her too scared. Green on. Hey, yo, that, oh man. Oh god, I hate trademark. Where are they procuring bird? First one to fall asleep at a sleepover, the Geneva Convention does not apply. That's creepy as hell.
Alright, it's coming down. 3, 2, 1.
Nuclear silo, what's going on? Ukrainian, be perfect. Watch One Piece, it's really good. One Piece. Very true, bro. You don't need to watch One Piece when you got this. Alright, I just saved y'all years of your life.
Yeah, we're getting this one for the show. Hey, yo, come get you right. My boy Richie out in my foot.
Is the barber riding here? Just fight anything, man. Well, if you enjoyed this video, fight this next.
Today, if you laugh, your manager's getting called, buddy, okay? I don't like your attitude. No, today if you laugh, you lose. It's just going to be a Karen edition. But in case any Karens are watching, I'm just going to get straight to business. I don't want them yelling at me for yapping. Here we go. Dude, this looks like a movie set. And like Optimus Prime himself just freaking came crashing from a different universe into this lighting.
Can you guys shut the blinds down?
Can we shut the blinds down? Like, we don't want other people seeing it, or is that keep her in, or what? I don't know what. Okay.
Shut the blinds down. Shut everything.
Ain't no way. She looks like a beetle, dude. She looks like a little cockroach. You got the antennas and everything, dude. I try this, dude. I don't know if I'm flexible enough for this. I gotta try this. Shark Tank lady? Yeah, dude, this is Shark Tank lady. What the heck? Dude, Hollywood, listen up. Giant shark versus giant cockroach movie would go hard. Here's proof. This is actually kind of tough. Because I don't like watching people in a state of distress. It actually makes me kind of feel bad. But at the same point, I think it's important to be self-aware, right? And if you're ever at the point where you are reaching inside of someone's car, if you're at that point, I don't care what it is, that is not the way to handle it. What's wrong with her? I'm genuinely just I'm like trying to wrap my head around how you could get to this point where you like this is your response to a frustrating moment. Okay, because don't get me wrong, guys. There's been a couple times in my life where I've gotten so mad at somebody that I like start shaking. But I don't think I've ever like. What would you do? You show them. Oh, you're gonna play Jenga in my neighborhood? Nobody got the Jenga permits. Okay, insecure Karen.
Can nobody park in a parking lot next to me and my friends down my spot? This isn't a boyfriend. Are you crazy? Are you insecure? Are you crazy? I know you not to say that to me. What is your problem? Get out of my parking spot. You're parked next to my boyfriend.
How do you actually talk to a Karen? Okay, wait, I actually have had a Karen encounter. One of my favorite holidays is 4th of July. Okay, I love it. Fireworks, love it. Are they dangerous? Yes. Do I recommend it? No. But regardless, I was lighting out fireworks. Okay, they were going up the sky, blowing up all that. My neighbor comes over and she is livid. She is so upset. She was like, "You're gonna burn my house down!" I was like, I'm sorry. I genuinely, I had no idea. I had no clue that they were like the wind was taking them over there. And she literally like cuts me off right as I start. She goes, she literally rolls her hands up and does a little dance and goes, and I literally go, and then I just thought to myself, there's no way. That just happened. I don't know. Anyways, okay. Okay, to be fair, airports suck. Airports absolutely suck.
Open your door. What do you want? I want to talk to the grown-up who live here. Why? What happened? Answer the door. Open the door. You are the mother of this house? I'm the mother of this house. Great. Well, we've never met, so let's meet.
Yeah, no.
If your cat doesn't stop eating and eating and biting all of the things at my house when I don't own a cat and you do, I'm going to get the police involved because I am fed up. Keep cat. It's your cat. I've already met your husband about it. If you would open the door, I can show you. I can show you.
I mean, dude, this is on brand for cats. I've been preaching about this for a minute now, dude. They like to make their owners' lives as miserable as possible, in my experience. Your little kitty cat could smell this little Karen pheromone. This little, okay, you know what I'm saying, right? This is why you need to know animal self-defense taekwondo. You wouldn't have to go knock on your neighbor's house. You could just put that cat in our bar, you know? Do not hurt cats, okay, by the way.
It doesn't work like that. It's mistakes. I want to talk to you. What the hell? No problem. I just like that.
Dude, that's pretty genius, I'm not gonna lie. The fact that she does a full 360, oh my god. Aaron complains about noise and gets home.
We have a bunch of things until 11 p.m. We're going to celebrate your birthday party. Here's Friday, sweetheart. It's my mother on my birthday. She's wearing her, so thank you. Come back over here. It's loud.
Oh, yeah, I thought she was going to fix my fun about sex, which I wouldn't have enjoyed, but it just would have been the ultimate ending. The thing that freaks me out, though, is like, will she come back stronger, right? Is she going to go and then train in the Himalayas for a year, practicing her steering ways?
That's my nail. My nail's been missing. Now I caught you on camera stealing it. No, it doesn't. Give me that. Yes. What are you doing?
There ain't no way, dude. Do I have to subscribe and turn notifications on?
So, neighborhood, we get overtime. So if you want to take this to a lawyer, by all means, I don't care. We'll take it to a lawyer, okay? No crimes been committed. You guys get out of here. Go in your car. You go in your car, you get your jerseys, and stop this.
I need his phone number because I am going to talk.
I will give you my phone number.
There you go. If he wants to give you your phone number, then he does it, he does it.
And I really don't want to, but I'll give it to you for the sake of, look, we live in the same place. If we can't have good energy here, that's a bad thing.
From Adam. You just got here from Massachusetts or wherever you're from, Maryland. I wish.
We got beef with Maryland now? Huh? You're from Maryland, bro? Don't go outside.
For 15 years. You're a newbie.
I moved here a few months ago.
Oh my god. You're the
I need a phone number. So I
She
should
wants to give you your phone number?
Yeah.
What is it? So,
1-800 up your butt.
Okay, you know the cops immediately had to go do paperwork in the car. So you know the cops are sitting there like, and they hear 100 up their butt.
Oh, I have to go to the bathroom again, so yeah.
pocketbook. That's what
It's okay, I'm sorry. He apologized. He apologized. Yeah, and you know what? That didn't upset me. Sorry. I told you to calm down. What I got you to do?
Okay, obviously fake, but still, how in the heck? She can see smells, dude. She can read minds.
What the frick is wrong with you? Get in your car, dude. Get in your car. I'm in my car. That's weird. Can you?
I know there are male Karens. I think, what if we decided we call them Karens? But I respect this. I respect this. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, no more fish. It's a little unacceptable, but we'll leave.
I mean, kind of a fun strat on her part. Not gonna lie. I love that they just accept it. Yeah, no more fish. That was super unacceptable.
Here's the fun part.
Okay, go ahead.
Ew. You're kind of ugly.
That's a.
Yeah. And
Wait, I'm this kind of goes hard, dude. I gotta give respect for it, dude. If somebody came up to me and said, first off, ew, I would be 98 years old and still have a clear, vivid memory of that. There's no way that memory is getting out of the vault up here.
Yeah.
Look in the camera.
Son, where'd you find this?
Like, sure, bro, you're filming her, but you got cooked. There's just no way around it. Oh, new strat! New strat! New strat! Just dish it right back.
Get out of my face! You come in my face. Bye. No, I keep separating. Turn in my face. Bye.
So far, that might be one of the most effective strategies we've seen. Holy crap, dude. Did you go to that one mountain in Skyrim? Something like that. She might be that guy's play. People don't want to hear you swearing. Yeah, you know what they do love though? Is that sound of morning birds with a little hint of some lady freaking popping blood vessels as she screams as loud as possible. He did not hit her, bro. Dude, okay, wait. If the Karen attacks you, you can defend yourself. And she catches an elbow, right? Like, who's at fault? That's kind of scary. This is stressing me out. People viciously attack Karen.
Sorry, that was really rude. Sorry, you let him get it. No, I'm sorry. I'm not kind of dollars for like, I love you kind of dollars, but it's okay. You know what? It's not
Okay, go. Come on. Like what? Yeah, that's wild. What did you expect him to be like? No, please tell me something, please. Like Karen got karma. Oh yeah. More and more. We might have got a so far perfect strat. Karen, do a snowman. Karen, do a snowman.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah. Hi.
Are you aware of the smell that's coming out of your window, possibly related to makeup?
Okay, well, this is my toilet.
Oh, dude. Well, I didn't laugh. I think it was hard for you today. It was a little bit difficult for me because I genuinely don't like seeing people struggle. The positive thing that we can take away from it.
Welcome back, fellas. If I laugh 3 times, the video ends. Let's begin. Dog ran out of water.
I'll ask you what I'm at, you know? There's somewhere over here. We said, we don't count. It's good. What's up?
Yo, he's terraforming. How do you laugh like that? Oh, I can do it. It's not that hard. Here we go, Nickel. Have a seat.
What's you? Are you serious?
Oh my god. Rick Will's kneecap.
Smash that fucking like button. Smash and subscribe in 3, 2, 1. Smash that fucking.
Say a happy birthday to you for my mom. I just gotta say happy birthday. So you can open your birthday. Yeah, Tracy, this part is off.
Who believed in me was my grandfather, and now he's gone.
Is that him?
Now he's gone.
Is that a bag of ashes? Why would you put him in a Ziploc bag? Now that is an art installation. I need that in my backyard. My HOA is going to be knocking on my door, brother. They see mine to hose it out there 3D printed. No way water's going to get through there. How the how? I don't buy it, bro. How do water go through that shit? Use it instead of grid.
Hello. Come on.
These are the fucking waiters that like try to hit on Becca while I'm sitting with her, bro. Try on the left. There's this one dude, bro. I was with a group of my friends and Becca was with me. And this dude, which had to be like 2 or 3 years younger than us, came up with his phone and like gave her his Instagram, and she looked it up because she thought it'd be funny. And then he made like shitty art, and then he was like bragging like, yeah, I just had like 2,000 followers or something. And like, bro, also another thing is that when Becca and I are out eating, you don't know how many times waiters have come up from behind me and they've been like, hello ladies, because they just see the back of my head and Becca. Damn! Every time, bro, they're gobsmacked. They don't know what to do. They're like, what are you doing now? Is this dude a Japanese comedian? Oh, he's holding the no-looker. He doesn't even look at the number. He knows. 2,200? I thought it only went up to like 1,000. You got that special human strength.
A carefully put together argument that is well researched and backed by heaps of irrefutable evidence.
Damn it! How many laughs am I down? I forgot what this video was supposed to be. Oh, also, if you want to be in a future video, caption this. That's what I got then. Bro, I thought that was real at first. Bro, you should play Undertale. Undertale gameplay. Undertale good as hell. Only people playing that game ironically. Good irony, get it? That was a fake laugh. Fake fucking laugh, okay? This is a real laugh. That laugh was not that didn't go to the video, it was to me, myself, didn't count. Brother just pinching some shrimp. Oh my god, sleight of hand. I'm getting mad suspicious right now with all these upgrades.
How you doing? Gang, gang.
Oh, she's in blood too?
Get it, man.
Why Shark Tank sucks now?
In the late 2000s, people viewed Shark Tank as more than just another reality TV show.
Hi, Sharks.
Introducing lifted neurostimulation.
Here's an album for small-time entrepreneurs to pitch their idea to millions.
Pyramid scheme, I would swear. The problem is now the majority of like Shark Tank deals don't even go through, and most places are just using it as like a weird ad placement, and so you're basically just like sitting there purposefully watching ads, and people don't realize it. People are like, oh, I'm watching it because I love seeing what the sharks are gonna say. But most of the time now they bring up like good products, and there's such a funnel down system now that most of the products that they bring are good, and that's not funny. It's the same like AGT. Like the best thing about Shark Tank was punching products that suck, and you know ones that were like niche and cool. But a lot.
When you're sitting in the hospital, one of the first things doctors evaluate is your biggest organ, skin. Here are 14 ways your skin actually tells me a lot about your health. Just remember, changes to your skin may be a benign variant, and there are always multiple diagnoses to consider. That's why I included a list of potential other options called a differential right here on this clipboard. If you're ever concerned or spot a new change though, don't hesitate to seek professional medical advice. If your skin has lots of bruising that happens really easily, your blood may be having a problem with clotting. That's because one of the most prominent signs of a condition known as hemophilia is easy bruisability, due to the fact that bleeding becomes harder to control. If your skin has a cut that refuses to heal for a long time, you may have skin cancer. I'm not exaggerating here. A non-healing wound on the face, to me, is skin cancer unless proven otherwise. This is because the face heals so much faster than other parts of the body, and it's one of the most that's exposed to the sun. If your skin has hair growth in unusual places as a woman, you may have PCOS. Females having hair suddenly appear in areas like the upper lip, chest, and back can be a sign of excess testosterone, often occurring with polycystic ovarian syndrome. This is because androgenic hormones like testosterone can cause peach fuzz or vellus hair to develop into larger, darker, terminal hair. If your skin has a bullseye-shaped rash, you might have been hiking recently, especially in the northeast of the U.S. That's because one of the most common, but not all the time, early presentations of Lyme disease comes with the erythema migrans rash. Lyme disease is spread by these guys, deer ticks, so be sure to follow tips on how to best protect yourself. If you have a red rash across your nose and face with light sensitivity, you might have increased inflammation throughout your whole body from lupus. That's because immune-related changes in the skin cause it to become extra sensitive, overreact to UV exposure from the sun. So the most sun-exposed regions, like your nasal bridge and cheeks, get affected the most. And it's important to remember that lupus affects more than just your skin. If you have darkening of the folds of your skin in the neck, armpit, or groin, you may have diabetes. Acanthosis nigricans is when a hormonal disturbance, usually insulin-related, causes an uptick of certain cells in the skin, changing its appearance to become more thickened, velvety, and dark. Early onset of this should trigger a discussion with your doctor about certain blood tests. If you have more than 50 moles in your skin, you could have a higher risk of a type of skin cancer known as melanoma. Moles, also known as beauty marks, are brown pigmented spots that are a result of cells called melanocytes tightly gathering together into clusters. Most of them are quite harmless and are very common. It's not that moles lead to cancer, but instead a correlation that we have found to be true, and we could use this correlation to help guide risk stratification and prevention. If I squeeze your nail and the blanching or whitening does not resolve within 2 to 3 seconds, you could be going into shock. This is called the capillary refill test. By squeezing the tip of the finger, we're able to temporarily cut off blood supply. And upon release, we expect to see reperfusion of color from blood very quickly. If this process takes longer than 3 seconds, there's an issue with circulation. Why the nail bed? Well, it's less impacted by melanin, and therefore there's less variation across humans. If your skin is very pale on your conjunctiva or palms, you may have a fast heart rate because you're near. On areas where there's less variation from person to person, we're able to see a decrease in that red hue, symbolizing that perhaps there's less oxygen carrying ability in the blood vessels. This could be due to a problem with the red blood cells or a perfusion issue like hypertension or blockages. When your tissues aren't getting enough oxygen, your heart tries to compensate for this by beating faster. If your skin has a defined area of redness and scaling over your neckline or earlobes, you might be wearing inexpensive jewelry. Contact dermatitis is one of the most common skin conditions we see in primary care. The interesting part about the diagnosis is that the condition is usually very localized to where the contact had occurred. So the red patches have very unique shapes, outlining the exact shape of that allergic cause. Nickel is actually one of the more common metals causing this immune overreaction on the skin, and it's commonly found in costume jewelry and belt buckles. If your skin has yellow growths on or near the eyelids, you may be consuming too many fatty animal products, aka high cholesterol. Xanthelasma is a benign mass where cholesterol deposits build up under the skin. While the growth itself is not usually problematic, it can represent a disorder of the management of fats and cholesterols in your body, leading to other conditions like heart disease. That's why in addition to addressing cosmetic concerns for these lesions, we also routinely check blood lipid and other tests. If your skin has one of these spider angiomas on your face, neck, or upper chest, you may have a liver problem like cirrhosis. Interestingly enough, these unique blood vessels occur in pregnancy as well as with liver disorders. The exact mechanism for why and how they're formed is not even fully understood, but the hormone estrogen and certain vascular growth factors have been implicated in initial research. If your skin doesn't bounce back after being pinched, you may need some water. This is called the skin turgor test, and basically checks your skin's resiliency after being manipulated. If you are heavily dehydrated, then skin struggles to return to its normal position quickly. However, there's an important caveat here that this test needs to be thought about in context, as someone over the age of 65 may have naturally less resilient skin simply due to age, not dehydration. If your skin is yellow, you might be drinking too much alcohol. Jaundice is a well-known condition for causing this unique change. The color change actually stems from bilirubin, which is a yellow-orange breakdown product of red blood cells. It is normally processed by the liver to be passed into the digestive system as bile. Then it's excreted through urine and stool. However, if there's damage to the liver from alcohol, the bilirubin can enter your bloodstream and therefore cause yellow skin discoloration. So many people ask me,
The drive in your computer saves and stores your data, everything from documents to photos to software programs. The newer generation drives are solid-state drives. They're gradually replacing traditional hard disk drives because they're compact, more durable, and process information faster. Just like portable USB drives and social media websites, solid-state drives store information to their memory chips whether you ask them to or not. Each chip is designed by a team of an Asian man and woman who know how to read a blueprint to each other. To make the memory chips, they begin with a chip-shaped silicone wafer. Silicone is a non-metallic natural element that conducts information and is highly susceptible to contamination. The factory is cleaned twice a day, including a good dusting, and all employees are required to wash their hands. An automated system moves the wafer through over 800 production steps, 500 if the factory is producing the parts in China. Each wafer receives a Krabby Patty secret formula of mystery liquids, which differs from factory to factory. These fluids direct the electrical conductivity of the memory chips. The wafer is then spun around to send in its college applications. This machine keeps track of which schools the wafer has been accepted into. Any wafer with less than 6 acceptance letters is deemed too slow to be of any value, just like most humans. Here, Diane checks her Facebook to see that 95% of people have responded maybe to her birthday party invitation. To assuage her sorrows, she heats up some Hot Pockets for herself in the company's science microwave. Meanwhile, the imprinted microchips have now been sliced apart. A cutting machine covers the wafer with blue plastic wrap to hold it in place. There is no reason for it to be blue, it's just this machine's favorite color. Over yonder, 6 circuit boards are covered in molten lead, which, once semi-hardened, will act as a near-unbreakable adhesive for the microchips to be bolted onto.
This process takes a long time, so the employees often watch classic movies in the lounge to pass time. After about 2.5 Martin Scorsese films, the boards have been prepped long enough to have their microchips slotted in. Kevin here has just responded to Diane's birthday party request with maybe, even though he knows he's not going. The brains of the SSD are now complete, and it's time to make sure the microchips have learned to have a little fun. The microchips' photos are taken as they ride their Genesis roller coaster. They can later pick these photos up in the ride's exit lobby. The next machine x-rays the board to ensure everything is soldered on correctly. This x-ray is run by Justine, who is also not going to Diane's birthday party because she thinks she's a skank.
$6.8 billion views. How much money did I get from that? What you're about to see is me ranting about companies claiming my videos for extremely stupid reasons. I'm gonna show you how much money I potentially lost with these claims and how much money some of my biggest videos made. Unfortunately, I have to censor the name of the company that claims my videos because I'm scared to be sued. Enjoy the video. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of a random YouTuber getting fucked over by the YouTube copyright claims. Copyright claim review, everyone. Today I woke up to a very beautiful email from YouTube. Brado, congratulations, your shit got claimed, bitch. And I went to my YouTube studio, the worst GTA memes of all time, copyright claim. Oh my god, what did I do? This video was found to contain copyrighted material. Revenue is being shared with other copyright owners. Shared? Okay, interesting. Let me just check it out if that's actually the truth or not. Let me see which copyright material was used in my video. See details. Video uses this song's melody. Okay, bro, I don't know, but maybe I put Katy Perry or something into my video. Maybe I put Drake. Which song did I put into my video for it to be copyright claims? The GTA San Andreas theme. Content found during 9 minutes 5 seconds and 9 minutes 18. Okay, let's check it out. What a nice song. They copyright claimed me for this. Identified as a cover song. You're sharing money generated from ads with the relevant... What do you mean sharing? Let me see if it's actually shared or not. Look at it. Here's another video that also got copyright claimed because I used the GTA San Andreas theme. 903 estimated revenue of 1.4 million clicks in December is definitely a very, very good revenue. It's very good. Look at that. It gained $260 the first day, 469 the second day, 567 the third day, then boom, 609 the fourth day. This is where I got copyright claimed. Let me see what I earned the next day.
Oh my goodness.
1 cent. 0. 0. 0. Sharing revenue. What do you mean sharing? Hello guys, it's me from the future. I just checked my YouTube analytics and the numbers actually changed, and apparently I didn't just get 1 cent but like 20 to 40 euros per day. I looked up how much money I lost because of the copyright claim using the CPM before I got claimed and calculating it with the views, and I would say that I lost around 1,100 to 1,400 euros because of this claim, and that's only in December. So that means that So that
I have to go to the bathroom again. Plus, also this last one's only like 2 hours long. Yeah.
means that I lose around 60% of the revenue because of this copyright claim forever. Okay, I can't be 100% certain, but I would say it's around that. That's it, goodbye. Who the fuck did it? Copyright owners. Oh, okay. Is that Rockstar Games? Is it like the same thing? Okay, I mean, that's just 13 seconds, right? I mean, I can just mute those 13 seconds, and then the copyright claim is resolved, and I should get all of the money, right? Let me see. Select actions. Yes, mute song. What? Start time 5 seconds, end time 9 minutes and 58. But I thought it's only 13 seconds. What the fuck is this shit? Look at this. Do you see this blue thing here? That's every single instance where this song appears apparently. Really? They really played the GTA theme song throughout the entire video almost. But you're wrong. Let's see. It's like, what the hell is this, bro? Okay, where's the song? Where's the song? Oh my god, look at so many people. What is this? There is no fucking GTA San Andreas theme in this. This video is sponsored by the best game of all time. What? My Raid Shadow Legends sponsor. What is this? I only use music from the fucking game. That's it. That's the song. All right. Oh, sorry. I gotta mute this. You know. Preview trimmed the video. Let's see how my video would be without the copyright claimed sections. What the hell is this? GTA Walk TikTok compilation. Oh my goodness. Let me see. Goodbye. I mean, it's a great video. Another video that got copyright claimed is my 60 minutes editing masterpiece with my babushka playing GTA 5. Oh guys, I got an email from YouTube. Let me see what it says. Your video, the funniest 25,000 GTA challenge with my babushka lol. What a shitty title, man. Did I really write this? May have content that is owned or licensed by... Oh, interesting. They just forgot the company name. Like, this company is so irrelevant, not even YouTube has its name. Who is it this time? Oh, look at that. Hello, guys, hello. Content found during 8:17 and 8:25. Oh, this time 8 seconds. They're taking all of my money for 8 seconds of footage. Look, again, why are they copyright claiming my sponsorship? It doesn't make any sense. I've only used the songs that were given to me by the company. Are you fucking serious? Where the fuck are they from? Alright, so in this section of the video, I actually had a 5-minute long rant and roast of this company. It was one of the funniest scenes that I've ever made in my entire life. I literally went to their website and I talked so much shit. Oh my goodness, you won't believe it, man. But I'm afraid I can't put this in the video. If they saw my video, they would probably sue the shit out of me. You know what you know how these companies are, man. So we're just gonna fast forward this bit. You wanna see how bad copyright claims can take your money? Look at this. She just had SpongeBob mods. 6.8 billion views. How much money did I get from that? 1,000. Wow. Copyright claim. Hello! Who was it this time? SpongeBob SquarePants theme song. Oh yeah, I used 8 seconds of the SpongeBob theme song. I'm sorry, man. And you know what's even worse? Look at that. But then, there are copyright claims that fucking infuriate me so much I wanna stick my microphone in my asshole. Look at this. This is a stream where I unboxed Delphine's keyboards, okay? It's a nice stream at 10k viewers watching live. And I put, while unboxing the video, the GTA theme from Officer Tenpenny. You know that one? And then, see details. What the hell is that? What? That's not the song that I used. And then I googled their name, and literally when I saw this, I wanted to... Let's just check it out. Some random son of a bruh somewhere in his mother's basement made the worst sounding fucking mixtape I've ever heard in my entire fucking life. He used the Tenpenny theme in the background, made his very, very horrible sounding voiceover. And then he sent this fucking song to some random music publishing agency, and they're like copyright claiming people for using the Tenpenny theme because this guy is also using the Tenpenny theme.
This is not the wrong bullshit.
I think I'm losing my mind, I swear to God. And I clicked on their YouTube channel, 93 subscribers now. By the way, in all of those countries, the video is copyright claimed. And this thing is happening so many times on YouTube, you don't understand. People sampling a sound effect from music, from movies, from video games, it doesn't matter. People sampling sound effects, putting them in their shitty as fuck songs. They get like 100 clicks on their songs or whatever. Some random Vietnamese music company that literally consists of one dude and his cousin working there. They write those random musicians, hey man, we're a music publishing agency, do you want to work for us? And these dudes, they're like, music publishing? Oh my god, that's like an actual musician. Wait a minute, Drake has a music publisher. I have a music publisher? I am Drake. I need to sign a contract ASAP. That's literally what happens, I swear to God. They sell their soul to some random dude in the Ukraine, taking his money, and she doesn't know anything about it, basically. Like, it's literally the same thing that happened 10 years ago with random gaming YouTubers signing with Machinima. Oh my god, I'm gonna be like all of those epic Halo montage YouTubers if I sign with them. That's it, basically. They're like, yeah, fuck it, I have a label, guys, hello. If you want to make a lot of money on YouTube, literally go to Mr. Beast, click on one of his videos. This is the largest video. Use this sample, put it in one of your songs, and then just copyright strike Mr. Beast, and then get all of this money. I mean, this literally would be possible with how YouTube works nowadays. I mean, I wouldn't do it because this guy has a lot of money. I mean, if he sued you, oh my goodness, man, and this would be reverse Mr. Beast, would have to pay him $1 million. And now, today, an hour ago, I got another email from YouTube. This video got copyright claimed. 2.8 million views. It's literally my most popular video that I've uploaded within the last 1 year, I think. That's basically a fucking masterpiece, like every single one of my videos, and I click on it, and again copyrights, again copyright claims, again the same fucking company. Are you fucking, what the fuck is wrong with you to copyright claim a YouTuber because he uses a cover song of the GTA San Andreas theme?
Famous artist of all time. When faced with that question, it's easy to look at a catalog of famous pop superstars. artists with packed stadiums every time they go on tour. Some might consider painters from generations long past, those behind some of the most influential and iconic works in history. Realistically, there are a million different ways to answer this question. Being famous is a social status, and because of that, it's impossible to objectively measure it. But to me, it seems natural to say that the most famous artist would have the most widely spread art. If everyone on Earth has heard someone's work, then surely that would make him the most famous artist alive. At least, that's what you'd expect, right? There's an artist out there whose music is universally consumed, yet doesn't seem to get nearly as much fanfare as music. It's bad. Kevin MacLeod is a name you might have heard before, but even if you're unaware of the band itself, you've most definitely heard its music. It's been used in tens of millions of YouTube videos, to the point where some refer to his body of work as the soundtrack of YouTube. It's been in tons of short films and even theatrical productions. Rather than a traditional music artist, Kevin specializes in composing. His music doesn't have lyrics, and because of this, there are no language barriers towards his music, and more importantly, it fits perfectly in the background of other projects. Just to properly give you an idea of the whole scope of his career, of his reach and versatility, I put together a highlight reel of his most popular hits, as well as the context you might have heard of it. There are so many other works I could go over, but I'm sure by now you get the idea. If you grew up on the internet, you've heard Kevin's music. He also has one of the most popular songs on TikTok. His biggest song, It's Been Monkeys, being used in nearly 30 million posts on that platform. His music has been played possibly billions of times, and yet most people that listen to his music daily don't even know his name, and know even less about the man himself. How does someone get into this position? And why does everyone use his music to begin with? And of course, most importantly, the reason is Kevin. Kevin MacLeod is best known for his website, Competent. He first created it back in 1996, in the earliest days of the internet. The site name being a portmanteau of incompetence and technology. At the time, those words reflected everyone online. Sort of that weird.
Perhaps no world leader spends more of their time at launch events than the president of Guyana, Dr. Arafat Ali. That's because the small South American country is speedrunning national development. For example, just weeks ago, the president was at the opening of the Aviator, a new luxury hotel in the capital. Operated as a franchise of the Best Western, this is only the country's third aligned with an international brand, and it's badly needed. The country's top hotel, the Marriott, is consistently selling for over $600 a night as a recent influx of foreigners has outpaced the country's ability to build hotel rooms, meaning it's consistently more expensive than the Marriott in New York's Times Square. But this new hotel in Guyana's capital of Georgetown is the first of a relative deluge backed by the country's government, including a Four Points by Sheraton, Hyatt Place, AC by Marriott, Courtyard by Marriott, and Radisson Blu already announced and in development. Also notable enough to warrant the president's attendance was the opening of Guyana's first Starbucks. Prices are steep, higher, in fact, than in the U.S. A medium latte goes for 1,400 Guyanese dollars, around $6.75 USD.
Apple has just wrapped up WWDC. They've announced their next generation software that's going to power all of their devices coming September, and it's a little bit different this time. Instead of the iOS 19 and tvOS 19, I get this right, macOS 16, watchOS 12, and visionOS 3 that you would expect, everything is just now 26, with a complete visual overhaul too. Each software is now more aligned with each other, and is all inspired by glass and transparency. Here's the thing, Apple is not in a great place right now. Last year was all about Apple Intelligence. They overpromised, they underdelivered. The year before was Vision Pro, which did not create the change I think they thought it would. iOS 18 was like the buggiest Apple software I've ever used. Siri is falling further and further behind as an assistant. Developers just seem to be increasingly frustrated working with Apple. So, is this new software actually fixing Apple's issues? Or is it just a shiny coat of paint to try and cover them up? So the first software they talked about is the new iOS 26. They talked about how this is the biggest redesign since iOS 7 back in the day. So I was amping myself up for like a completely new look, and then they revealed it, and it was not that big of a change. Now, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think this liquid glass material that they've introduced is really cool to look at. Like, I think it looks futuristic. And, you know, seeing it across the camera app, the Safari, you know, the way that the tab bar is now more dynamic and kind of disappears into this small bubble is pretty clearly the more immersive experience compared to what we have now. And you can tell that Apple has really tried to not make this just look flat, like iOS 7. There's a lot of subtle lighting effects on this glass to make it feel three-dimensional. I assume because they're really trying to prime people for a future that is all about spatial computing, like the Vision Pro. The thing is though, glass can be problematic, like you don't want it everywhere. There were a couple of instances at the event, and I'm sure there'll be many in person, where you can start to see how things might be a little bit less clear. Ironically, I feel like these new all-clear icons are a pretty good example of that. They're cool, they just feel like a recipe for intense squinting. It's actually really weird. Like, this whole transparency thing is probably the first time that Apple has moved design language in a way that it doesn't feel like others will follow. We've actually just seen a whole load of companies go in the complete opposite direction. So, ironically, for an event that's designed to help developers, this will probably end up with quite a few of them pulling their hair out, trying to figure out how on earth to redesign their app for a second time just to fit Apple's new design language. Now, there are positives, like the camera app, for example. They boiled it right back down to the basics again. The same features are still there, they're just hidden now. Maybe a bit less intuitive for someone who's like never used an iPhone before, but I'm a big fan. This is very refreshing after years of creeping clutter. The lock screen now has this more dynamic glass-like unlock animation. The time will now fluidly adapt to your wallpaper to try and nestle into your scene, and there is animated lock screen music art. I'm very happy to see that they've used this new look as a chance to slightly fix the mess that they created with the Photos app in iOS 18. But then you look at the new Control Center compared to the old one, and it just feels like they've moved that mess to other places. So thankfully, iOS 26 is not just like, here's a new design, see you later. There are some healthy updates, I'd say, to the phone app. There's a more unified layout, which brings together your favorites and your recents and your voicemails. There's the ability for your phone to screen calls before unknown numbers can get to you. Yes, finally, but this one's actually really sick. Hold assist, which means when someone puts you on hold, your iPhone can keep your spot in line. And then it's only when you reach the front of the queue that your phone will ring you as you get through to a person, as if that person was calling you. So much less time nervously hanging around your phone as you try to go about your day. Messages now have customizable backgrounds which appear for everyone in the conversation. You've got polls in group chats, which I just love how they talked about this. It's like, we're creating this amazing thing. It's exactly what WhatsApp's had for absolutely ages. And on that note, also typing indicators for group chats. It's just good features that lots of people have already had access to on other platforms. The big new one, though, is live translation. So this is integrated into messages, FaceTime, and phone calls, and can all happen on your device without needing any internet at all. So in concept, amazing. Like being able to talk to your Italian grandma and understand what she's saying even though she's talking another language. But having seen what this looks like already on other phones, chances are that the first-gen iteration is going to be pretty jank. And then your phone can also use that same tech in Apple Music to translate lyrics so you can actually understand the next Blackpink album, and then give you pronunciation for if you just don't care what it means but you want to sing along. But then it got really strange. So Apple announced a new app for games. This is meant to be your gaming hub. You know, recommendations of new games you can play, a place to challenge your friends to little competitions and launch games from here. And then also an update to visual intelligence, which now lets you search within what's on your screen, not just what your camera can see. But it was just strange to see this in 2025 when all the stuff that Apple is showing us feels like things that we've seen years ago. Like, this stuff was actually giving me major deja vu from Google events I've watched a long time ago. So I'm also going to rate each of the software updates based on how much of an improvement I think they are. I would say for iOS 26, it deserves a solid but unspectacular 5 out of 10. Made slightly better by all the little features buried in the small print, like the ability to select partial text within a bubble, or customize the snooze alarm, or actually a personal favorite of mine, a hint to clean your lens if it's dirty. But the other side to this new software equation is the new naming. How every single software is now just 26. Ultimately, I think it's a good thing. It is a little confusing that they're calling the software that is technically releasing in 2025 the 26 version, but you can kind of see why. Like, if they called it 25, then by the time it gets to January 26, you'd feel like you're using outdated software. So I know that there's a better way of doing it, but the most important thing is that this allows the average user to actually be able to keep track of whether they're on the latest or not, with, I suppose, the side benefit of potentially taking a little bit of the pressure off Apple with each release needing to feel like some sort of big drop. Okay, so after iOS, then we've got the Apple Intelligence side of things, and it feels like Apple Intelligence has got a little broader. Like, some of the new features in iOS, like the translations, like the visual intelligence stuff, those are Apple Intelligence features, but it hasn't got deeper. Like, aside from a few new languages, the Apple Intelligence model itself hasn't become more intelligent. There is a silver lining in that Apple is now going to open Apple Intelligence up to developers. Like, they're basically giving out the keys to build apps that can use this AI, even offline. Which it's an important first step. They share this example of how a developer could make an app that lets you take a photo of your notes and then use the power of Apple Intelligence to turn those notes into a quiz in WhatsApp, for example. And this is really important. Like, now more than ever, the easiest thing to do is to make a web app. You can build a web app now without even, like, touching a piece of code. And so Apple needs this. Apple needs to try to encourage developers to carry on making really curated apps that are, like, specifically designed around the iPhone and the iPhone's features, and hell, now the iPhone's design language too. The not so great news is that how useful this is strongly relies on how easy they've made it for developers to integrate Apple Intelligence, but also how powerful Apple's offline AI model actually is, which, based on our experiences in iOS 18, is not looking the most promising. If you compare the intelligence of Apple Intelligence versus direct competitors like Galaxy AI, but also indirect competitors like ChatGPT, it's not there. And this feels like it needed to be the event where they convinced us that Tim's been cooking all along. But if anything, it's the opposite. They were vocal about how they're not to add symbols, they did show some pretty great examples of how you can now personalize it, which I'm not going to complain about. But the key new things for me are continuity. So you can order some food on Uber on your phone, and then you can put tabs on it and even interact with that app while you're on your Mac. And then Spotlight. So Spotlight has always been the way to get to stuff fast, but they're completely changing it to try and make it the place to do stuff fast. So not just a journey, but the destination too. So for example, being able to access a tool from your Spotlight search that removes the background of an image without needing to open a new app to make that change, which is a little hard to assess without using the new software. But I would say if it feels intuitive, then this is kind of like using ChatGPT to get your answers as opposed to like old school Google search, in that it brings the outcome to you without you needing to navigate into the various rabbit holes to retrieve those results yourself. So it could be a fundamental level up in the way that you interact with your computer. And then finally, a new dedicated games app. But don't get me started with gaming. Mac is like the same story every single time. They'll pick like one example of a game that works well on their platforms. They'll act like developers are flooding to their platforms, but in reality it's just too much work to bring most games over to Mac with not that obvious an upside. But overall I would give the new Mac OS a 7 out of 10. And then just before the new iPad OS, which is probably the biggest of the entire bunch, Vision OS, which has hilariously gone from 1.0 to 2.0 to 26. I call this a small upgrade, but an important upgrade. You can tell that they're still slowly trying to continue to flesh out what a spatial computing world could look like. You've got new widgets that are more depthy than before, they're more customizable than before, and they stay put exactly where you've placed them, even if you reboot the headset, which like that level of object permanence is very cool. Like this photos widget almost looks like a window into another world with how solidly it's planted and the depth effect.
So basically, I am planning on having massive updates on my website. So basically, my current one will be a massive update, a massive interface update. I'm changing the theme, and I'm adding a bunch of stuff. I'm deleting a bunch of stuff. Just a whole entire new look, basically. And I'm going to make a video where I announce that update, and I'm going to upload that video on my second channel. But I do have to wait 3 weeks, pretty much of look into it. Then I'm going to start on my airplane update. Then, since I literally just had 2 massive updates, I'm going to have a update that basically combines both of those updates. Then after the update after that one, I'm planning on just having bug fixes, description updates. So basically I'll just update all the descriptions and all that, and adding a few things. So basically most of that would be posted on my second channel as updates, except for the airplane one, because obviously my main channel is about airplanes, so I want to talk about airplanes on my main channel, so obviously that one would be there. Then also, since I am going to be uploading my first YouTube videos on a bunch of channels, I also have to have a multi-update for that, which would probably be in the bug fix one. It just depends on when I upload them. So if I upload them, like, let's say Wednesday, I film what my average day shift looks like for the first hour. I explain what I'm going to be doing in this shift and what it averagely looks like. Then I could just have from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. as just updating my website, plus also uploading those videos and putting those videos on my website. Then from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. since that's when my average shift would look like, since 8 a.m. is the beginning of my shift, 4 p.m. is the end of my shift. So basically, in there, I'm just going to have, I think I'm going to have a live stream, and also I'll remove some copyright claims, and I'll film some content. Well, so the live stream might be just 1 hour, or I could just remove copyright claims while I'm live streaming. So yeah, so that could show me multitasking for my YouTube channel here, but I don't know, because I have a family reunion Saturday. Oh wait, Wednesday. So I might have to film it Friday because tomorrow, well today technically, somebody's coming over. Wednesday, which is tomorrow, I'm going to lunch with somebody. Thursday, I'm going to go shopping. Friday, I'm going to prepare for the family reunion, but I guess doing that is technically preparing my YouTube channels for it. So yeah, but I would still have to well, after it, I'll probably sleep because well, I'll probably be up all night tonight and all night. Well, I'm already up for 3/4 of tonight. I'm already up. But I'll probably be up all day today. Probably all night tonight because well, obviously I have to record videos. Wednesday I might film it, but also I'm going to lunch. So I could just say that I usually have a break in between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. because at 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. I explained a lot. Then from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. I could just record and all that. Then from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. I do whatever. I might even live stream in between those times and just talk the live stream up to the point where I have to go, then just have the live stream run, then just come back. And if they're still let's say that I arrive at and I come back home and the live stream is at 2 hours and 50 minutes, right now, I would just talk for the rest of the 10 minutes, then I would just end the live stream, then I would just continue on what I'm normally working on. So yeah. This crap.
Speaking of depth, it now has improved tech to be able to better transform your flat 2D images into depthy 3D ones that you can look around. And you can use that same tech in Safari for spatial browsing so that you can actually see inside of the images as you're flicking through. I would say there's a dramatic transformation to personas. You know, the image of you that the Vision Pro can create when you're on a call with someone, the hair, the lashes, the complexion. Considering that the headset isn't actually seeing close to your full face while you're talking, this is eerily good looking. Cute.
Hey, yo, there's something playing on the TV. Hey, yo, there's something playing on the TV. There's something playing on the TV. Bro, no, there's something playing on the TV. No, there's something playing on the TV. They did not see this coming. What did they not see coming? Bro, the last 2 frames, it's just what is that, a cop car?
Somebody. I just want somebody
tags?
Oh, my I'm ready to say need some love, my sucking thing.
Barbecue water? Don't tag me this year. From now on, she can only eat human flesh.
My first jar was shut.
Oh! Whoa! Expect element enhance.
A broken man either beats the devil.
Or beats the devil off.
You ever stand back and look at something and say, I've built that?
Show us them neck tattoos. Filthy boy rage. I'm deaf. The feet pointed to heaven. Damn, she putting them shocks to work. Oh my god. How? They got rocket boosters on that thing. English is making the steady. This is what English does. Salt the boiling water. Chopping is the garlic. Boring. Didn't ask.
Yes! Yes! We made that 20K! We made it 20K! Yes! Shut the fuck up! Remember, pick this stuff up! Remember, pick this stuff up!
Bro made it there long just to get paid. He's in it for the money. Oh, not like me. I do it for the meat. I love the meat. I'm hitting the taser and make bigger doing that after getting hit and then stripping off. Sorry guys, I gave up halfway. Used to be a little kid looking at cool cars. Now I'm driving a cool car looking at little kids. No! George, do not admit to the allegations! This is beautiful! Don't buy milk from Taco Bell.
Another show how to change the man.
You got that Latin X milk. Oh! My boss in the trading, bro. This is... Oh my god. This is evil.
This is simple stuff.
I gotta watch it. Oh my god. Cheating. Bro's cheating, bro. He's sticking toothpicks into the burger so it doesn't fall apart. If it was Bill Rat, you would need toothpicks. Lay me out your keyboard. Fuck is that word? Beautiful assortment of videos. Who tagged me in that? Bro, he's so nonchalant. He's so humble. He didn't even have a name, bro. Guys, the other day I held my first kitten. It was so cute. Look at it. Look at that. Hold on, guys. Today, I'm just gonna ask nicely. Can you smash your leg for me? I absolutely love that they don't have hair on their faces as much, and it's like they have actual hair going down. Like that's so freaking sick, bro.
Alright, guys. Those sponsorships into this.
From Honey, a money-saving browser extension which ended up stealing everyone's money.
Honey, steal this.
From creating to FTX, a cryptocurrency exchange platform which turned out to be a scam.
FTX tried to hide millions of dollars for that sandbagging fee. The guy who stole like, what, probably $40 or $50 billion for people fraud.
Here are 5 of the worst sponsorships in YouTube.
Yeah, don't just rate Shadow Legends, bro.
History. Starting with
Don't just read Shadow Legends, bro. That's my shit.
Tony, it's the biggest feature.
That's the best game ever made.
It was promoted as a coupon-funded browser extension.
Thank you, Raid Shadow Legends, for sponsoring this video.
That promised to help users save money, only for them to realize that the company was doing the opposite all along. The scam was first exposed by YouTuber Megalag.
We already know about this. We're fast forwarding through this. First, we did a whole video watching that.
The World Hunting Races for the first wave of lawsuits. Ghana, savings money, is still
Never heard of Yada. Have you guys ever heard of Yada? Never seen Yada ad.
the app kept people's money to save. 2021, Ghana introduced itself as a gamified savings and operating a lottery-like system where every money saved and retained would be for prize funds. This appealed to big finance users like Ray and Stefan, who promoted on his channel.
I decided to invest an undisclosed amount, and now I can officially say I am a small owner in Yada Pay.
As well as smaller commentary creators like Jim Grant.
Lotteries are predatory. They play on our psychology to suck us dry of our hard-earned money. But what if lottery psychology can be used for good? What if lottery psychology can be used to incentivize you to save money and build wealth instead of...
Yo, it's kind of a good idea, man. That is a good idea. Like, I don't know what's wrong with the business yet, but the idea of having a higher raffle rate where you're still basically gambling, but in a good way. Where it's like,
Well, that's going to be the end of this YouTube live stream, and bye. God, that live stream doesn't. Well, just got that live stream done now. Well, that's gonna be the end of this YouTube video, and bye.